cultural appropriation was the topic du jour in 2014 or 2015. I don't really like talking about cultural appropriation because it's kind of a low-hanging fruit in a way. But alas, we're still going around in circles on the topic because some are still convinced that, for instance, a white person should not be permitted to cook and sell Asian-inspired food in the multicultural city of Toronto. Last week, Toronto Star editor Evie Kwong took to Twitter to complain that a white-owned eatery in Toronto was selling items like dumplings, noodles, and hot sauces. She took issue that Ripe Nutrition owner Alexandra Baird was selling superfood dumplings, and she also had some complaints that Baird was sexualizing the names of some of the ethnic sauces. Kwong wrote on Twitter, "I legit threw out my Chinese food lunches because white kids would make fun of it all day. I bought into Pizza Day and dry-ass turkey burgers. So did many others. And now you taking our culture and selling it, and people think it's legit? Damn." I swear with these social justice types who are all into cultural appropriation, they always bring up being embarrassed about their ethnic food lunch as a kid. They always bring it up. And I'm not denying their experience. It is valid, but it's become a total trope and cliche. And I think being embarrassed or self-conscious as a kid or teenager about your lunch at school is a universal experience that can be applied to anyone. I think it's either related to an overall general self-consciousness of eating around other people and knowing that kids or teenagers will make fun of you for anything, or it's because the food you bring from home can show your socioeconomic status. But ultimately, it was really only junk food that was considered cool. In any case, many of us, maybe most of us, undergo that self-consciousness and we get past it and we move on. But people like Evie Kwong, they experienced that self-consciousness years ago as a child or teen, but now they feel vengeful. And so they have leveraged current cultural sensitivities to get this small business to close down, and during the COVID-19 pandemic. And Kwong acknowledges this. She says she doesn't want to knock a small business down, but she does it anyways. And to be fair, sexualizing the sauce names, I don't find it appealing. But I think if the business owner was contacted privately about it and heard some criticism, maybe she would have changed it. You know, why does this need to be a public mobbing? We have to see this for what it really is. It's a woman, a grown adult woman, who can't get past her memories of the mean kids from her school-aged years, and so she is in the present day targeting a business. And maybe it's also notable that she's targeting a female-owned business. So this is a female-on-female attack, with the idea maybe being that women more easily and more readily cave to pressure. We can't really say for sure, though. But the funny or sad part is, look at the Instagram of the business that people are going after. She posted this. "My page is pro-black, pro-brown, pro-trans, etc., pro-inclusivity, pro-ho." After being called out and undergoing this mini controversy, the owner of Ripe Nutrition apologized. You really hate to see it. She removed all of the products from her website that were culturally insensitive, and she says she's going to take cultural sensitivity training and that she's going to do better. But as you and I know, apologies never get you anywhere with the social justice mobs. Ripe Nutrition, from what I understand, they had their eatery, but they also had a pop-up shop broth bar that was going to be housed within a clothing store called Permission. And amidst all this hoopla, Permission decided that they are going to part ways with Ripe Nutrition and kick the broth bar out of their space. They don't even give a tangible reason why. And I briefly looked through the Instagram comments on Ripe Nutrition's page, but it was just so painful. There were people calling for the owner of Ripe Nutrition to pay reparations for the hurt she's caused. The last thing I want to point out, it's kind of a fledgling thought, but I find it interesting that people like Evie Kwong, they cling to food as the be-all and end-all of culture. But culture is about institutions, ways of life, values, family structure, parenting style, etiquette. But for the cultural appropriation crowd, they really hone in on food. And their whole philosophy here, in this case, was that because kids were mean to them in school for their ethnic food, no one else is allowed to start a business cooking those foods, ever. It's sad to see business owners fall for and give into this philosophy of vindictiveness. I'm Lindsay Shepherd with True North. If you like our coverage and commentary, please consider supporting our work. Until next time.